Here's the Treasurer responding to today's rate rise.
It isn't a surprise to anyone. The bank had flagged more increases, the markets had anticipated it, and homeowners were expecting it as well. But the fact that we knew it was coming doesn't make it any easier for people. This is tough. This will tighten the screws on family budgets. This will put more pressure on a lot of Australians who are already stretched enough. Now, as the House would be aware, a half a percentage point increase in the cash rate means that average homeowners owning $330,000 will have to find about $95 a month more for repayments. For Australians with a typical $500,000 mortgage, it's about an extra $145 a month, in addition to the extra $475 they've had to find since rates started rising before the election in May. So interest rate rises do mean that Australians will have to make more hard decisions about how to make ends meet. And it also means more difficult decisions for governments, because higher interest rates mean a higher cost of servicing the $1 trillion of debt that has been left to us. Now, as I've said previously in this place and elsewhere, it's not for the government to interfere with the independent decisions of the Reserve Bank. It is our job to do what we responsibly can to help Australians deal with these pressures in the near term and to build a much more resilient economy into the future that is able to withstand some of these global and domestic shocks. And our Job Summit, our economic plan, our budget, they are all deliberate and direct responses to these economic circumstances that were left to us. High and rising inflation, flat and falling real wages and productivity paralysis. That's why we're doing so much to ease the cost of living, whether it comes to childcare or wages or medicine costs. It's why we're working so hard to deal with the issues in our supply chains, which the Prime Minister mentioned in response to the question from the member for Kennedy. All along, Mr Speaker, we have been upfront about the nature of this inflation challenge. We've been realistic about the decisions taken by the Independent Reserve Bank, and we will continue to work around the clock to make this economy more resilient so that Australians, especially right now with a mortgage doing it especially tough, know that the government is doing what they can to deal with those parts of the inflationary pressures where we can have a meaningful influence.
Give the order. The member for Page. I give the call to the member for Hume.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister, Mr Speaker. Today, more than 3 million Australians with a mortgage face a fifth consecutive interest rate increase. Can the Prime Minister tell those Australians how much more they will pay on a typical mortgage as a result of all of those increases, Mr Speaker?